Well, that's it, you've done it, you've finally broken the game. Helldivers 2 actually broken right now, and the only reason for that is because, yes, you guys are absolutely crazy, and we have finally unlocked the XO45 Patriot mech for Helldivers 2. Now, this was announced a short while ago over on Twitter with a little bit of a video for that, and then because obviously everyone wants to get in there and get their hands on the mech, the servers have literally melted down. So I was trying to get in there and get in one myself. I haven't had a chance to get in one just yet, and the servers are literally having a meltdown. So whilst they're melting down and everyone's queuing, I just thought we'd chuck up this video, and to be fair, I haven't planned it. We are literally just going to fly by the seat of our pants and go through what actual craziness is going online with Helldivers 2. Obviously, everyone's going to be moulding about the servers, but you know, it's the weekend and I'm sure plenty of people are going to get on to play the mechs as soon as possible. Are they going to be overpowered? Probably. Are people going to whinge about them? Probably. But if you want to get in and get on your mechs, then once the game does come up, then these can be purchased through the requisition screen in-game on your destroyer, and you'll be able to call these down as a stratagem. I would imagine that they'll have a semi-decent cooldown on them, but if you can somehow manage to make them survive longer than 2 seconds from them getting obliterated by a meteor storm or whatever, then these things are going to be pretty handy going forwards, and will probably make stuff like the recent railgun nerf and whatnot seem like an actual thing of the past. So, like I say, we're doing this one a little bit of a on the seat of his pants sort of thing, and so I'm just going to do a bit of doom scrolling live over on Reddit right now and see what actually people have been whinging and moaning about today. What have we got? So first up, we've got extracting at higher difficulties, Hellkiters 2. Yep. We definitely all know that pain. The kiting of enemies is one thing that has been a bit of a problem recently, not even at higher difficulty levels, but even at lower difficulty levels. I know I jumped in last night just to kill some time and whatnot, and even on the lower difficulty levels like 3 and 4, I was absolutely getting demolished by just waves and waves of higher tier enemies, charges and all that good stuff, and this little image for Hellkiters 2 just perfectly sums it up, to be honest. So yeah, that's it. That's a good one. That's a good one. I like that one. So what else have we got? Oh, this was one that I actually came across earlier today, and basically the biggest disappointment is that Arrowhead didn't release their patch notes as in-world propaganda. Now, this one is a thread. I like this one. So basically someone has come up with how to, well, basically how Arrowhead Studios should probably release the patch notes in the future, and I think something like this may like stop some of the saltiness from future patch updates. So we're going to read this one out because this one is a fun one, to be honest with you. So this is an official Super Earth public service announcement. Your undivided attention is mandatory. Extended conflict and use of ICBMs across the galaxy have destabilised several planetary atmospheric conditions. Helldivers are advised to be aware of hazards unique to each planet that may inhibit the spread of managed democracy. So I'm guessing that one is related to the new storms and stuff, so let's carry on. So cost savings initiative at breaker production facilities have resulted in more compact magazines with associated reduction in capacity and lower recoil reduction. So yeah, that's the breaker nerf, but doesn't that sound so much nicer? It doesn't sound like a nerf, it just sounds like a manufacturing issue, which is pretty funny, to be fair. Next up, we've got recent incidents of Redacted has required safe mode on the railgun to be even safer. Damage output and armor penetration reduced to lower risk of repeat occurrences. Again, I mean, that just doesn't sound like a railgun nerf. It just seems like an overzealous health and safety representative on Super Earth has basically had enough of the railgun causing issues, and they've just made that gun safer. So is it a nerf when it's wrote like that? It doesn't seem like it, does it? And then obviously it goes on to state that testing models indicate a reduced capacity to terminate heavily armoured threats. Helldivers are advised that the objective is more important than the death of any one bug or the life of any one Helldiver. Pick your fights, complete your mission for the glory of Super Earth. Again, fully leans into that in-game propaganda and the spreading of managed democracy, and again makes that railgun nerf just not seem relevant, to be honest. Next, we've got new developments in fuel research have increased heat output of flame-based weapons by 50%. Again, that 50% increase to the flamethrower, you know, a buff's a buff, it doesn't matter how you read it, but throwing it into the propaganda style theme of this post, it just makes it sound a little bit sweeter. Next, we've got new developments in light focusing components have likewise increased laser armor penetration. So again, the laser cannon, another little buff, and the in-game propaganda version of the patch notes just perfectly complements it, to be honest. Next, we've got new Punisher and Breaker design has allowed for increased ammo capacity and damage output. Again, two little buffs to the other shotgun varieties that don't get too much love at the minute, but again, they've improved the design of them apparently, so there you go. Dissidents have sabotaged manufacturing supply lines for our shield packs. Components required for recharge are now in short supply. Minimum construction guidelines have been adjusted to compensate. This one just reads into the story of the game with manufacturing supplies being sabotaged, so they've obviously had to adjust the shield packs, and it doesn't really sound that bad, does it, when your shield pack's been nerfed because of an issue where they've been making them, apparently. Next, we've got following reports of projectile deflection, expendable anti-tank and recoilless rifle rounds have been redesigned to detonate on impact. Again, another little bit of a stealth buff with that one, and you know, just fits into the propaganda style of this post again. And then following improvement in reported destroyer crew morale across the fleet, even, guidelines for orbital barrage calibrations have been adjusted to increase accuracy and duration. So obviously that's the barrage sort of stratagems, and apparently the destroyer crew are having a bit of a party up there, so they've managed to get over what was causing issues, and these now have become more potent and more accurate, and they've thrown an extra bomb in there just because, you know. So again, this is all just great reading, and I think if patch notes come out like this in the future, then, and I'm sure probably some guys at Arrowhead are going to be taking notes of this one, then it really is probably going to play into the theme of the game and the style of what they've been pushing since the release of Helldivers 2. And then it ends with Super Earth thanks you for your noble contributions to the spread of freedom, liberty and upholding our way of life. And obviously this is a public service announcement, and it's just absolutely spot on in terms of what should be coming in future patch notes, and if something like that is to come out, then I'm all for it, to be honest. So what else have we got before we finish off this video? Probably just this one, which is from some of the dev team, where they're basically going to be looking at the spawn rates and health pools of heavy enemies. And again, this goes back to the kiting meme that we looked at with Hellkiters 2. So hopefully that hotfix comes out soon, and all being well, the servers stop melting down and everyone can get in to play on their brand new shiny mechs. Hopefully you enjoyed this one, just a little bit of a quick one that I threw together. You know what to do if you want future content, and like they say, happy hell diving.